Sisi tuko nyuma ya baba. Baba ya nani? Wewe una baba kwenu? Unakuja kutafuta mtu anatangatanga kwa barabara unaita baba. Wewe umekosa baba ya kwako.
Welcome back to Havana Media. My name is Professor Wino, and as usual, I'm going to be your host for today. Now, there is something that I would like to ask before I play this video, because basically this video is all about what is happening in our churches, what most pastors are doing. Let me ask this: are our churches being turned into political zone, or what is going on? Because in as much as a lot of people are against William Samoei Ruto and Raila Odinga's handshake or unity, and because right now we know very well that Ruto is supporting Raila Odinga's bid to become the chairman of African Union, there are a lot of things that are emerging. And before I talk, I would like us to listen to this video. There is this pastor who is saying that, I don't know, is calling himself, I don't know whether a prophet, a pastor, apostle, bishop, I don't know, I don't understand. Because one thing he's saying that he's really against the handshake. He's really against William Ruto and Raila Odinga working together, yet a lot of people lose their lives during the demonstration. He's saying that, he's asking this question, that did people lose their lives for these people for political gain? Which a lot of us have been saying that that is it. Automatically, from the look of things, that is it. Let's call spade a spade. But before that, let us all listen to what this pastor is saying, what this prophet and apostle is saying before I come back so that we can discuss his words.
Personally, as a prophet of God and as a servant of God, I don't support him. One, because Ruto William killed so many Kenyans in Kondele, killed so many Kenyans in Nairobi. So many Kenyans died. After this death, now Ruto and Raila sit down. Then they say work together. They are working together on top of the graves of Kenyans. They are dancing on top of the graves of Kenyans. If Raila was so serious about his patriotism for the Kenyan people, he shouldn't have joined hand with Ruto, who is a killer, a murderer, a vampire. He wouldn't have done so. And for that reason, I 70% doubt whether he will make it. If he make it, okay. But I, Apostle Michael Band, I don't support. I know many people will say you don't care. You don't care. My heart is not your heart. It is your heart that does not care. Praise the Lord. You can say whatever you want. You have your mouth. I've said my own. Everybody in his office. There's office of the fool. There's office of the wise. There's office of the ignorant. I don't know which your office is. Mine is a prophet. That's what I've said. I am against it. There's no way politicians can always be uniting for their own selfish gains to oppress Kenyans. This is oppression. Why couldn't he just stand there? Amechoka na kwenda kwa street. Si angekaa kando. Awache wale wanataka kupigana wapigane. Anaingia pale kukat deal ya nini? Na cut deal na mtu ambaye ni devil worshipper. Ruto is a devil worshipper, disguising himself as an angel of God in the church. Very nonsense man. Very evil, wicked man. Wickedness, even if you look at him like this, wickedness is written all over him. The other day he came in a vision. He was begging me to agree with some of things. I told him I don't agree. And I left him seated there and I went. I can never agree with Ruto. Not on anything. Raila goes and unites with him. I pray that he fails at ACU. If he succeeds, okay. That's his own problem with his family. It is his salary. I don't care. But my prayer is, Apostle Michael, that he fails in that quest. We cannot have politicians that are chameleons, always changing like this. They are getting richer and richer, and Kenyans are getting poorer and poorer. Nonsense. Very nonsense. They should have left Ruto to perish because Ruto tried to play God. You can never play God. I said before and I say here again, no amount of interventions will help Ruto. You can never play God. And you cannot dance. You cannot dance on people's blood. You cannot drink people's blood. You can't do that. Now he's back on top of cars going there. That's all he knows. Kutangatanga tu huku. Hakuna kitu huyu mtu anajua. Ameharibu kila kitu. Kila kitu ameharibu. Mtu aliambia Ruto ati Ruto ni genius. Alikudanganya. Alikuwa anataka pesa yako. You have nothing here. Nonsense. Na bado kiboko ya Mungu inakuja. Tatuangwa vizuri. Think you day wise. Nonsense man. Clueless. Rudderless. Pointless. Resign bwana, toka hapo. Nonsense.
Now, on the statements of that pastor, there are some of the questions that I would like to ask. Let me start by asking this first question. I think there are 4 questions, but there'll be around 5 questions. But let me just start by this one roughly question. What is the position of church in Kenya, in Kenyan politics? What role should Kenyan churches, or what role should pastors, bishops, church leaders play in politics, in Kenyan politics? Are they supposed to advise politicians on the way forward, what they're supposed to do, or are they supposed to be against politicians? Because every day I said something here that the one greatest mistake that right now is happening is that we find that a lot of churches are giving politicians pulpit to speak about politics instead of preaching the gospel. And you find that the same churches are the ones that at the end of the day they come to talk negatively about these churches, these politicians. They give them the platform. We know very well that a pulpit is one of the places that should only be used to preach the gospel. So, and a lot of congregants goes to church when they hear that politicians are coming to those churches, because they know that by the politicians coming into those churches they're going to gain. So let me now ask these 4 questions. The first question I would like to ask is this. Now a lot of churches are against William Samoei Ruto, saying that he has got bad governance, is ruling the way he's not supposed to rule, the direction that is taking Kenya is not the best direction ever that they wish they knew. So my question is, while William Ruto was campaigning back in 2022, William Ruto went to their churches, he gave them a lot of money, he supported their projects, they were singing his song. They even went ahead to convince their church members to vote for William Ruto, saying that William Ruto is the one that understands the life or the struggle of a common mwananchi. Some of them even said, I remember there was a time that Mama Ida said that there are some of the churches that if at all Raila Odinga will become president, there are some of the churches that will be closed. She used the word vibanda. So this statement of Bibanda made a lot of pastors, made a lot of people hate Raila Odinga, saying that suppose Raila Odinga will be given chance to become the president, he will be against church, he will be against religion in Kenya. Some even went ahead and said that Raila Odinga does not even know anything about politics, about church. He's not a religious man. He's a mganga, so there is no way, there is nothing he understands about church. And they left that. They went to William Ruto, who by then was calling himself a pastor, by then was calling himself a preacher. Well, he was quoting the Bible verses in churches. A lot of people were clapping, applauding, saying that this is the best man to rule Kenya. So my question is, while William Ruto was doing all this to them, while they were being convinced, while they were convincing others too, that William Ruto is the best president because he's a religious man, he understands the lifestyle of a common mwananchi, and they even convinced their church members. They were the ones that were calling William Ruto to their churches to campaign inside their churches. They even reduced the time limit of preaching the gospel and gave time for the politicians to do campaign in their churches. Did they not remember, or were they forgetting that a time would come that the same person that they were thinking that was supporting the church will come again to turn against the churches? Were they not aware? Were they not thinking otherwise? Were they only thinking of the money that they were going to get, the money that they were being given, the millions of shillings that they were being given at that point? Thinking that maybe after William Ruto will become the president, they will still continue to be given that money. That is the first question. The second question, when they were convincing their church congregants to vote for William Samoei Ruto in 2022, were they not thinking that there will be life after campaign, that there would be life after voting, that there would be life after William Samoei Ruto will become the president? Did they not consider the fact that after William Ruto will be the president, they will not gain from what he was telling them. Did they believe in William Ruto's fake promises, which up to now have never been fulfilled? Some churches even went ahead to demolish their churches, being promised that after William Ruto had become the president, they will be helped to rebuild their churches. Such kind of churches are still stuck, and no one is talking about them. Were they not looking at the repercussions? Were they not looking at what will come after? Did they only concentrate on the life that was there at that point? Were they not looking at the life after the campaign, the life after the election, or what would happen if at all William Ruto will become the president? The third question, according to the statement that have just been made by that prophet, what is the purpose, what is the function of a prophet? What is the function of an apostle, of a prophet in a society, according to your understanding? Are prophets supposed to speak their feelings, or are they supposed to be God's mouthpiece? Because according to me, the way I've watched this video, this prophet is speaking according to his feelings. Do you think, according to you, do you think that God answers our prayers according to man's wicked wills, or he answers prayers according to his own will? Do you think God answers man's prayers according to his evil heart desires or his evil marks? Or he answers prayers according to his own will as God? Just to wrap up, what does Kenyans really want? Because when Raila Odinga is supporting the government, people say that he is doomed. At the same time, when he is in opposition, opposing what the government is doing, again they say that he is a doomed man. What exactly do men or do people of Kenya want that Raila Odinga should do? As we all understand, everybody, almost everybody in the country right now is praying so hard that Raila Odinga loses the AUC seat. Praying so hard that Yusuf from Djibouti wins the position. What will we gain if Raila Odinga loses the AUC seat? And what will we lose if at all he goes ahead and loses the AUC seat? Don't we think that Raila Odinga winning the position, becoming the chairman of African Union, will be a gain to all Kenyans? Don't we think that Raila Odinga losing the position will not only be a shame to him, but will be a shame to all Kenyans? Because what will be said is that Kenyans presented their candidate, gave out their candidate, and Kenyans lost. Will it not be a gain for Kenyans? Will Kenyans' name or Kenyans' rank be lifted, be better than the way it is right now, if at all Raila Odinga become the chairman of African Union? It is up to us Kenyans now to pray for what we want. If we really want Raila Odinga to lose the AUC seat, so that Kenya can be seen as one of the cursed countries which cannot even produce a leader who can lead Africa, then it is up to us. But again, it's again up to us to pray so hard that Raila Odinga wins the AUC seat, so that Kenya's economy, Kenya can also be seen as one of the greatest land that can produce a very prominent leader who can lead the whole of Africa. After all, guys, that is all I had for today. Let me also know what you think in the comment section. But just a reminder, if you're meeting for the first time, please don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can also like, share, and drop me a comment and tell me what you think and where you are watching us from. But as I normally say, that feedback is normally the key thing in any form of communication. And not fail to appreciate those who have been giving us support, because without your support, this channel cannot grow and it cannot be where it is as now. Until we meet again, I've been your host, Professor Wino. Bye-bye.